Hi, hello again, everybody. How are you all doing? We're trying another one of these live streams. So if you've got any comments or things you want to say, just drop in, post underneath this video. We're literally going out live at the moment. And if you've got any comments, pop them in and I'll answer your questions, or we can have a chat about things. The first thing to talk about, obviously, is Sunday's game. And lots of people before the Crystal Palace fan, I think, before the Crystal Palace game, were quite nervous about how things are. There's a lot more confidence going on at the moment. It looks like there was good news from the training ground earlier. Casper trained, and it looks like basically there wasn't really any injuries picked up from the international weeks. And you know, I mean, what a fantastic week that was for Leicester City players in general. I mean, we start with Vardy. We all know what he's just done for England. Fantastic, 2 goals in 2 games. Many people think he's sealed himself on the plane already. I don't think he's quite done it yet, because I think Roy Hodgson hasn't quite made his mind up on many teams. Drinky, is he going to go or not? I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see. I think Dyer did well as well, the Spurs player. He's done well. I've heard Arsene Wenger tonight say Jack Wilshere is back in training and Hodgson should take him. Well, if you ask me, I don't think he's played all season, so for me it would be Drinkwater who should get the nod ahead of him. But both those 2 England lads did well, but there was lots of other international players doing superb as well. Kante made his debut, scored a goal for France. Okazaki, behind me, you can see, he scored and played his 100th cap. That was amazing. Anyway, score predictions. Let's start talking about some score predictions. If you've got any, put them in the comments below here. Let us know what you think. Who's going to be the first scorer on Sunday, and what's going to be the final score. We always do this every week, and if we pick out one winner who gets it right, and they get 2 pizzas from Peter's Pizzas. So put your comments in and let us know how you think the game's going to go. We've been doing quite a lot of videos this week. We've got loads on YouTube. If you're not aware of the YouTube channel, just search for 100% LCFC. Alan Young's done some stuff on there. I put some video of the radio show up on there so you can see what was going on that. There's plenty of videos on there. I had a chat with Dan the Statman. Oh, Ashley Matthews has just commented 4-1 to Leicester. Thanks, Ashley, for that. Feel free to drop your comments in, predictions. We'll read them out. We'll give you a shout out while we're doing this. So Ashley Matthews has said 4-1 to Leicester. Who do you think is going to score that first goal though, Ashley? Who do you think is going to do that? Mickey Stretton says 2-1 to Leicester again. Good one, Mickey, but who's going to score first? If you're getting for that, that's the competition we'll run, and we'll include any of these comments in that competition. Daniel Sharp's just said 2-0 to Leicester. Alex Walker said 2-1 with Vardy to score first. Callum Massey's going 2-0 Leicester, but Callum, who's going to score first? Sanj Dandra has just said 2-0 with Vardy and Mahrez, so that's a double prediction there. Mahrez certainly has been pulling the goals out for us. I think I had a chat with Dan the Statman on 100% LCFC, which again, it's up on YouTube, and Dan was telling me that Mahrez has scored, I believe, 12 goals. 12 out of his 16 have come away from home, so not so many at home. But it seems like when we're playing away, he's perhaps got a little bit more space. So Mahrez is a good shout, but he hasn't scored nearly as many as we'd perhaps like to see it at home. But his form has been fantastic. I know he frustrates a few fans, Mahrez, but for me, he's worth paying the entrance fee alone to see some of those flicks and turns. Roy Cornish has said 2-1 to Leicester with Vardy to score first. Kev Cartwright has gone 2-0 to Leicester. Vardy to score the first goal. Troy Bocalose, sorry Troy, can't say your second name, but what a great first name. Troy goes, it's going to be a tough game for both teams playing well. 1-0 for Leicester. Yeah, I mean, again, another video that's on YouTube is I had a chat with some of the Southampton fans. There's a fanzine down there called The Ugly Inside. God knows why it's called The Ugly Inside. But we were talking very much about Southampton being a Jekyll and Hyde side. You know, they beat Arsenal earlier in the season 4-0, gave them a good thumping, and yet they've lost to teams and look pretty scrappy at times. So I think some of the thing for Sunday is going to be which Southampton team turns up. I think Leicester are going to score. We'll score 2 or 3 goals, I think, on Sunday, but it's whether Southampton are, you know, the good side or they're the bad side. A few more score predictions. Dave Miles has gone for Drinky scoring the first goal, but what's going to be the final score, Dave? Jake Kernock has gone for Leicester 4, Southampton 1. He's gone for Vardy in the 5th minute, Mahrez in the 27th minute, Ujo in the 87th, and Kante, I think he means in the 76th. Joshua Fortune asks, will Vardy start in the Euros? There's 6 games to go. I think Vardy could be... I saw a funny piece the other day where somebody put Vardy's head on top of Bobby Moore's, the famous photo of Bobby Moore lifting the World Cup in England '66, and they'd superimposed Vardy's head on it. And you sort of think, yeah, there is something of this Roy of the Rovers where Vardy is potentially going to do something at the Euros for England. I think most fans around England, and this isn't just Leicester fans, are saying, let's get Vardy in there, let's get Kane in there. It's exciting to see the pair of them playing, getting crosses into them or dropping it over the top. People love to see Vardy chasing around those international defenders in Germany in particular, but just as much for Holland. He put in a lot of effort there. A couple more score predictions. Shane Lawler has gone for 3-1 for Leicester with Mahrez, Vardy and Ulloa to score. Yeah, big fan of Ulloa. I know he gets some stick, and I know he's not necessarily the most skillful. I know Youngie says that his first touch lets him down quite often, but again, we love players who give 100%, and Ulloa is one of those. And even if it's one of these cameo appearances from the bench with 20 to 25 minutes to go, he's a great player to get on. That goal he scored late on against Norwich, how valuable is that going to be? So good to see Ulloa getting on the score sheet on Sunday again. A couple more score predictions. Ryan May says, doesn't care what the score is, just hope we win. Yeah, I think we're all with you there. Who gives them monkeys about who scores the first goal and what the final score is, as long as Leicester get 3 points. Ben Spires, no, yes, maybe. Stephen Malt, 2-0 to Leicester. And it is going to be interesting. I mean, how many of us are going to be watching tomorrow night's game at 5:30 where Spurs go up to Liverpool? This weekend, we keep saying a pivotal weekend, but if Spurs are going to go to Liverpool, and their record up there is dreadful, so if that's going to be really interesting to see if they come away from 5:30 kickoff tomorrow night, and if they've lost, we're going to go into Sunday really all starting to bleed. We all know Leicester, that's where they come and kick you right in the nuts, Leicester City do, but let's just see how that goes. David Hollyoak is going for 1-0 now, and Ben Stevens is going for 1-0 to Leicester with Vardy. So I mean, generally, Dave Miles makes me chuckle because he says donuts in a very Homer Simpson sort of way, which, yeah, if you've not seen it, the owners have put their hands in the pocket again for the birthday, and there's a free beer and a free donut for every fan who gets into the ground. I think you've got to be in the ground by 1 o'clock, so get there early if you want your donut. So thanks, Dave, for pointing that out. Sean Brooks goes for 3-1 to Leicester with Mahrez and Vardy, and James Hall says it's going to be a hard game, 3-2. I've got a feeling you could be right, James. I think Southampton will score a couple of goals. Potentially, if it's the good Southampton that turns up. Stefan Eden goes for 2-1. Good one, Stefan, but who's going to score first? Don't forget, the competition is first goal scorer and the correct final score. 2 Peter's pizzas for anybody for one person who gets it right. Sorry, they'd be running out of pizzas that way. Nearly going to finish up today, so if you've got any quick questions or comments, chuck them in. Daniel Ogden says Liverpool to win the league. Liverpool will win against Spurs, and Leicester will win the league. Yeah, Daniel, that's a great one. I mean, if ever we want Liverpool to win, it's tomorrow. That would really knock the stuffing out of Spurs, I think. Ben Spires asks, who's my favourite player? Well, at the moment, God, it's a tricky one. It's hard to see much past Vardy, isn't it? I love this whole story of Vardy, that it feels like he is just one of us lot who's been picked off the out of the stands to go and play. So it's like one of your mates down the pub, Vardy is. That's what it feels like, and he's just on there, and you know that he's loving every minute of it. So for me, Vardy's going to be a cult hero. He'll be somebody we'll be talking about in 20 years' time. I have the pleasure now of chatting with Alan Young, who when I was younger was one of my cult heroes, as he was for many of you out there, Youngie. So it's these sorts of players who just give all that effort, like Youngie does, like Vardy's done, and there's been quite a few in between those two, but they're the 100% type of players. That's why we named ourselves 100% LCFC, because if we can accept if players aren't as good as maybe that everybody, but if they give 100%, we'll forgive them. So Last couple of comments before we go. Don't forget, main thing for tonight was to tell you to go over to the YouTube channel, watch all the videos that are there. Couple of last comments. Stephen Mark goes, I agree with Fergie. Leicester will win the league by the time we play Man United. Wouldn't that be nice? Kieran Bloxham says, Kante is a beast, my player of the season. And Morag Clark goes, so long as we get a win, these next few games are going to be nerve-wracking to say the least. Aren't they just going to be nervous? So I'm going to leave it there. That's 10 minutes up and done. Thank you for watching. Go to the YouTube channel, keep commenting and do your predictions, and anybody who gets it right will go into the draw. See you soon. See you on Sunday. Bye.